Okay, so I recently reviewed the remake of Wizards of Gore, or Wizard of Gore, and then I finally got to see the original Wizard of Gore. Now, again, this 1970s movie, it hasn't aged exceptionally well in some aspects. They do a decapitation and the head just looks horrible. I definitely do have to give them props for doing the amount of practical effects they did. And they're in the 70s. This movie must have been just ridiculous. So at this time, going back 44 years, that movie must have turned some heads. The plot is pretty basic. You have Montag the Magnificent, who does all these really crazy, over-the-top sort of stunts. You know, it's like Chris Angel has got nothing on this guy. There's a reporter who is kind of, there's something about this guy that's just not adding up, because the women that he does his tricks to, they later die. Ironically, had the remake taken that aspect of the female reporter as opposed to the male reporter, and had Bijou Phillips be the main character, that movie would have been phenomenal. Well, this movie for the time, great. Works well. The characters and the acting, it's pretty good. You know, 70s acting normally eclipses what you tend to see nowadays. People tend to be a little more believable. The big issue is, this is just a 70s criticism, always ends up being the fact that the audio is so hard to understand. I mean, you really have to have your volume turned up, since they're really not mic'd and they didn't do an overdub. People who are talking at a distance very much sound like people talking at a distance, so you kind of lose that almost omniscient viewpoint that we're used to seeing in movies, where we get to hear perfectly the dialogue that's being said. It does also have that nice 70s flair where the men kind of are deliberately and forthrightly demeaning towards the women. And of course, the woman at the end ends up being probably the most powerful character of the whole movie. So, I recommend seeing this one and then seeing the remake. If you see them in reverse, you might like the effects of the remake but not like the acting, and then you'll see the original, where you'll like the acting but not like the effects as much. Because for the time, super revolutionary. For now, I'd probably say something like Blood Feast probably held up better when it came to the special effects.